Yo, what up, YouTube? In the days we over here to some Mr. Ballin. My fault. Disturbing, bro. I don't know why I said Mr. Ballin. But we got to Mr. Ballin. I shouted out Disturbing, bro. He's a good storyteller as well. He tells like real life crimes. And this is gonna be probably sad as hell. This is the horrifying case of Lauren Berry and Nichole Collins. I don't know if I said it right. But yeah, let's get into it, man.
This case takes place in New South Wales in October of 1997. In a small rural town in New South Wales, two best friends set off walking. Their destination was a party, although they never arrived. Panic ensued, and what followed was an investigation which has forever haunted the small town of Bega. This video is sponsored. Lauren Berry was a 14-year-old Year 9 student at Bega High School. She was described as an incredibly happy and adventurous young girl, someone who had a deep love for the outdoors. She had a good number of friends, and one of these friends was 16-year-old Nichole Collins, a creative girl who loved her family dearly. Together, they enjoyed camping and attending social events. Over the last few months, these two friends had really been enjoying camping, and on the 4th and 6th of October 1997, there was a long weekend in New South Wales due to a public holiday known as Labour Day. For this occasion, the two girls, along with other girls and boys, wanted to embark on a camping trip, something they had done dozens of times in the past. Their parents agreed that they could do it.
How y'all feel about camping? I ain't gonna lie, camping is like one of them things, like, super risky in my opinion, because you're not in a building, bro. So anything could really happen to you, literally, from animals to people being weird.
Nichole's father set up a temporary camping site just off the Bega Road.
Okay.
The campsite was only 3 kilometers from where Lauren Berry and Nichole Collins lived. This was the perfect spot, as their parents could check on them with relative ease. School was out, and this was to be a fun trip away for the long weekend. By all accounts, the two girls were having a great time with their friends. However, many of those in attendance were in relationships, resulting in the two girls feeling somewhat left out. Nichole had only just recently separated from her boyfriend and was now single. Being surrounded by young couples made her feel a little down, and she began to deeply miss him, as she wanted him back. Nichole's ex-boyfriend was not at the camping trip. He was at a party not too far away, and so a thought popped into their heads. Why not go to this party and see if Nichole could rekindle their...
Why would you do that? Bro, you probably getting danced on as they speak, bro. As they chilling in the camp. Bro, this nigga going stupid, bro. Like, what do you mean go to him? But let him have his fun, bro.
Nightfall came. The campsite was remote enough that it was extremely dark. It got to the point in the night that the two girls became ever more tempted by this party. So at around 9 o'clock on the night of Sunday the 6th of October, Lauren and Nichole left their friends at the campsite and began to walk down the track to the Bega Road on their way to the party. They said bye to some of their friends and they went on their way, taking with them a bottle of alcohol for the journey. Just 10 minutes...
Wow, like, what are they doing? They taking all the wrong steps, bro. They too young to be having this type of, you know what I'm saying,
later,
drink
Nichole's brother pulled up to the
doing?
campsite in his car to see some of his friends. He had just missed out on seeing his sister and her friend. If he would have seen them, he would have given them a lift to the party in his car. The walk to the party was quite the distance. Many of their friends assumed that the pair would give up on their way and likely just stay over at Nichole's house, and that they would probably see them in the morning. But Nichole and Lauren never made it to that party, nor did they make it home. The following morning, those at the campsite began to wonder where they were. They weren't seen by anyone at the party, and friends and family had no clue as to where the two girls could be. Did they get lost? Not likely. They knew their way around the area like the back of their hand. Did they end up somewhere else on their own accord? Again, not likely. They would have informed their parents somehow as to where they were. More time passed, and it became clear that something was horribly wrong. Right away, a search was conducted. Huge efforts were made to find the girls.
Alright, so it's obviously a weirdo. It's obviously a freaking weird ass dude, bro. This dude's clearly a pedo. You know what I'm saying? He saw the opportunity. Just sick, you know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. It could be a crazy twist, but I feel like it was just a pedo, like on some weird shit.
Hoping that they were just lost somewhere out in the bush, but they were nowhere to be seen. Panic spread amongst the community as the police took over. Everywhere was searched in the area. Days passed, and there was no sign of the girls anywhere. Then, there was a discovery. Clothing belonging to Lauren was found on the side of an old road. It was Lauren's shirt, and she was wearing it when she was last seen at the campsite. But something was noticed on the clothing, a seminal stain on the shirt. This wasn't just a missing persons case. This was something far more sinister. An investigation team was brought in as the police began to fear the worst. Various states were notified of the missing.
He might have did the R word and left some. You feel me, bro? That's just sick, bro.
Girls, and a task force began probing any
That's
potential
sick,
people
bro.
who could be involved in the disappearance of the pair. A number of suspects were questioned, but they were swiftly released as they all had alibis. More and more names were ticked off the list of suspects. Their parents appealed to the media, hoping that someone would come forward, but no one did. The only information that was really gathered was that a large pink television set was found discarded on the side of a rural road, and then it was gone shortly after. However, this lead of a pink TV would prove to be far more important than initially expected. But then, one detective received a phone call from a police station in a town just near Canberra called Yass. This detective picked up the phone and spoke with another detective who had heard about the case of the missing girls. The detective explained that around 3 weeks after the girls went missing, a stolen car was searched by the police in Canberra. It was found to contain maps of the Bega area. The people who stole the car had been arrested for the crime. He gave the names of the two detained men, Leslie Camilleri and Lindsay Beckett. Leslie was a 27-year-old career criminal with a history of violent offences and a controlling personality. Lindsay Beckett was 23 years old and was originally from New Zealand. He also had a criminal record, but was described as someone who was easy to control and had a low IQ. He basically did what Camilleri told him to do. Between the two,
of course, some dumbass niggas, low IQ, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is real stupid. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like it was both of them. It was on some weird shit. I don't know how two weirdos come together, bro. I just don't. Like, it's like, that shit crazy, bro. How do they even
had over
think of doing this?
220
I'm not gonna say it's them,
convictions, and some were rather severe. These two
Pussy,
men
man.
were very, very well known to the authorities. The task force decided to bring Lindsay Beckett in for questioning. Every potential suspect needed to be ruled out, as time was very much of the essence. Lindsay was questioned by the police. He claimed that on the night that the girls went missing, he and his friend Camilleri went to a music festival and then visited Yass and Canberra, and that he knew nothing about the girls apart from what he had read in the newspaper.
Bro, it don't matter, bro. You could have drove away from the festival, whatever the shit, saw them two young girls, and decided to do some weird shit, bro. It doesn't matter what you was talking about, bro.
One of the detectives then decided to do something. He mentioned the pink TV, asking Beckett if he had any knowledge of it. Up until this point, Lindsay Beckett had been rather calm, like he was having a friendly chat with the officers. But the second the pink TV was mentioned, he changed his tune. The detectives noticed that he appeared to be more tense than just a moment ago.
Hold on. That pink TV might contain some crazy shit inside of it. I was thinking of it, but I was like, I would sound stupid. Yeah, but hold on.
Almost like he knew the police were onto him. The detective suspected that this TV may indeed be a part of this puzzle. With nothing concrete, he was free to go. but he
Bro,
wasn't
stop
off the
showing me
hook
this
yet.
chopped ass nigga, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Investigators
This nigga's
began
eyes
looking
going
into
here
this
and then this
TV
motherfucker
lead.
going straight. Like, I
There
don't know
were
what
some
he looking
undercover
at, bro.
informants who operated in the area, and because the two men were known to be selling drugs, investigators tasked the undercover informants to gather information, and they discovered something that piqued their interest. The two men had conducted a drug deal, and part of the payment for this deal was a television. Leslie Camilleri was then brought in for questioning. He was already in custody due to a number of thefts he had committed. He was the smarter of the two men. The police quickly learned that Beckett was essentially Camilleri's weird little minion who would do whatever he was told.
Is it just me? Why is they right eye so cockeyed, bro? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, literally, like, look at this nigga eye and look at this nigga eye. Like, it's all fucked up. Maybe it might be a theory behind it, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing.
Was it. Investigators believed that they had their culprits. With Camilleri no longer willing to speak, the investigators just continued with their investigation, but as they were at the station, they received a phone call. The call came from the jail where Leslie Camilleri was being held. They informed the investigators working on the case that Leslie Camilleri was in his cell having a nervous breakdown. He was bashing his head against the wall and kept muttering something about a television. Having absolutely broken Camilleri, investigators brought the less intelligent of the pair back in, Beckett. One of the detectives brought with him a photograph of the missing girls. He showed it to Beckett, and he couldn't even bring himself to look at the photo.
Man, they so guilty, bro.
Cracked. He then told the investigators a horrifying sentence.
About what?
I'll show you where we hid the bodies.
That's it, bro.
He agreed to drive with the investigators.
Alright, bro, these are little girls, bro. Why are we doing this to them, bro? Like, clear they had nothing to do with you, bro. They was probably just walking, right? They was walking to the party. Why would you have to stop and be like, let me just do crazy shit to them and like, what do you gain from this, bro? Like, what do you gain from
them
that?
to the exact spot where the two men had killed Lauren and Nichole, along with where the murder weapons were too. The bodies of Lauren Barry and Nichole Collins were found in a remote area of bushland near Fiddler's Green Creek, which is on the border of New South Wales and Victoria. The location was hundreds of kilometres from where they were last seen. The bodies of Lauren and Nichole were taken away to a forensic lab for an autopsy. Both men were arrested and charged with the murder.
I just hope that it doesn't go crazy, right? Because it says the horrifying case, bro. Horrifying. So that means some crazy shit went down with these niggas. They did some insane shit. I hope they didn't, though. But Disturban, he be telling some disturbing ass shit. So, let's see, man.
Beckett came clean,
crazy.
But Camilleri, he denied responsibility and tried to downplay his role, putting all of the blame on Lindsay Beckett. Investigators were able to piece together what happened that night. The girls left their friends at the campsite at 9 p.m. They walked down the dirt track on the Bega-Tathra Road on their way to the party. The timing of what happened next is chilling. Leslie Camilleri was driving along that road with Beckett. As the girls emerged onto the road, they were spotted.
I knew it. They was driving. They probably did go to the concert. They probably did. But they was driving, right? And they probably had some sick thoughts they probably talked about. And they went through it. Like, they went to actually do this shit when they saw them.
Girls would have spent 1 or 2 minutes longer talking to their friends. None of this would have ever happened.
Wow,
the two men pulled up and spoke to the two girls. One theory is that the girls got into the car on their own free will, under the promise of going to a concert in Bega. The other theory is that the men forced them both into the car. But there wasn't enough room, as the two men had with them the pink television set. So they discarded the TV on the side of the road and got the girls inside. Once inside the car, the two men each produced knives. Camilleri was driving, and he told Beckett to kill the girls if they tried to escape. They drove to a road not far from the girls' homes. It was at this point that Beckett forced himself upon Lauren. Camilleri was also forcing himself upon Nichole. She was wearing her high school jacket, the item of clothing that would later be found with a stain on it. Once they were done, the car drove off again, heading in the direction of Marambola, with Camilleri still driving. They passed through the town and headed towards Eden. On the way, the men injected themselves with illegal substances. Before reaching Eden, they stopped off.
So basically, you know, killing young girls, doing what y'all did wasn't enough. Let's go ahead and do some drugs. Bro, these niggas need the death penalty. Nah, fuck that, bro. They need torture. You know what I'm saying? For like a week straight. They got 1 HP left, and then throw their ass in death sentence, bro.
National
Go
Park,
ahead.
because Camilleri wanted to force himself upon Lauren again, and Beckett forced himself upon Nichole. A
sick.
small black rubber torch and a tampon were later found in the national park. Lauren owned an identical torch, and the girls had it with them when they disappeared. After this, Camilleri told Beckett to drive. In the course of this journey, the men stopped off multiple times to do unspeakable things to the girls.
This is just
Beckett
like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, bro, if you gonna be weird, bro, at least let them live. What the hell are you doing, bro? You stopping and doing weird shit with them still? Y'all couldn't, bro. This shit crazy,
to drive as Camilleri fell asleep,
This
showing
is
how
sick.
unfazed he was at what they were doing. When he awoke, he told Beckett that they should go to Sydney so they could throw the girls off a bridge. About this time, he repeatedly said, "They cannot go back." One of the girls asked if they were going to be killed, and Camilleri replied that they were going to be tied up so they could escape from the scene, assuring the girls that they would not be killed.
Bro.
But then they turned off the highway over Fiddler's Creek. They then tied up the girls' hands with rope. The girls asked again if they were going to be killed, but the men repeated what they had originally said, that they were going to be tied up so they could get away and not be caught. They then led the girls through a dense bush for around 100 to 200 meters and eventually arrived at the creek. Where they were now was incredibly remote and isolated. No one would hear a thing. At the creek, Camilleri told Nichole to go to the water and wash herself to remove any...
It's sad because they seeing this, right? And they looking outside. They're like, boy, ain't shit out here. We're dead. You know what I'm saying? They looking outside, bro. They like, bro, this, I don't believe these niggas at all. They probably crying. They probably shaking. Bro, there's nothing they could have done, bro. Absolutely nothing, bro.
DNA evidence. Lauren was also told to do the same. Camilleri then made both girls lie on their stomachs. He made gags by cutting strips of the jeans Lauren was wearing. Lauren and Nichole were then gagged. Camilleri used rope to tie Lauren's legs and pulled them behind her back, with her hands tied behind her back and a rope around her neck and mouth. Nichole was then taken and tied to a tree. Next, Camilleri...
Wait, why are we doing this? Why? Why are we doing this extra shit, bro?
Pulled Beckett to a side and told him to go down and drown Lauren, and then go to the tree and kill Nichole. According to Beckett, he said that he didn't want to, but Camilleri replied by saying that if he didn't, he would kill Beckett himself.
What? Wait. I don't think I heard that right. Hold on.
Tied to a tree. Next,
hold on.
Camilleri pulled Beckett to a side and told him to go down and drown Lauren, and then go to the tree and kill Nichole.
Right.
According to Beckett, he said that he didn't want to. Camilleri replied by saying that if he didn't, he would kill Beckett himself.
What's up? Oh, what you mean? I'm gonna be like, I bet. But I wouldn't even be in that situation. Hold on. I would never do such a thing. But first of all, bruh, who are you talking to, bruh? Like, man, bet. Get the knife out, stab this nigga in his neck. What are you talking about right now, bruh? Bro, are you crazy? You talk to me like that? Talking about you gonna kill me? That's some insane words, bruh. That's some insane words. That's probably what top 3 craziest words you would ever say to anyone. Like, it don't matter. Like, that's crazy.
Camilleri demanded this and then walked back to the car, waiting for Beckett to do as he had instructed. And he did. Beckett dragged Lauren into the water by the ropes and tried to drown her. She struggled, and in this struggle, she splashed some water on his knee and got him wet. This enraged Beckett, so much so that he pulled out his knife and stabbed her in the neck. Nichole saw all of this. She watched her best friend die. As soon as Lauren stopped moving, he ran up the embankment to Nichole, who said to him, "You're going to kill me, aren't you?" He told her to shut up and cut her throat 3 times. He kicked her a number of times and held her down with his foot as she began to bleed out. After this, he stabbed her in the chest. Once Nichole was dead, he gathered up the ropes and gags and ran back to the car covered in blood. Camilleri asked him, "Did you do it?" And Beckett replied
rest in peace to Lauren and Nichole, man. For real, rest in peace, man. That's a horrible way to go out, man. Seriously.
Then Camilleri kept asking him, "Did you see the demon?" What exactly he meant by this isn't clear. Camilleri then began driving. They drove to Canberra, where they burned their clothing, ropes and gags, after buying some clothes from a shopping centre. They then drove to Lake Burley Griffin in Canberra, and threw their 2 knives out of the car window into different parts of the lake. One of these knives was later recovered by police.
What do you gain
They
from
then
this,
drove
bro?
back to
What did y'all
Yass,
gain?
where the 2 men lived. They took Camilleri's car to a car wash and spent 6 hours or more cleaning it thoroughly. And later, they tried to retrieve the pink TV, but by the time they got there, a young couple had found it and taken it for themselves, not knowing the sinister reasons as to why it was left there on the side of the road.
What time was this, though? Was this in the 90s? So this TV is probably somewhere useful and shit. Dumbass.
Couple later came forward, and the TV was handed in to the police. With some clever investigatory work, they found that the TV was sold to someone in a second-hand shop, and then was given to the 2 killers as payment. This serial number on the television matched records linking it to the perpetrators, more evidence linking them to the crime. And so, after they did all this, the girls were reported missing, and then some weeks later, the 2 men were arrested, and Beckett confessed. Following the discovery of the bodies and Beckett's confession...
Of course Beckett confessed. You letting niggas, bro, threaten your life. Threaten your fucking life to do something. If you don't want to kill these girls after you already did insane shit to them, kill them. Kill him, bro. You doing a favor. Not only that, kill your damn self. Because you weird as hell, too. So it's like... Bro, let's go.
They pressed Camilleri for the same confession. However, he claimed that he had nothing to do with the murders, but said he was in the car, but he didn't do anything sinister to the girls. He claimed Beckett had injected him with all manner of illegal substances, and that because of this, he fell asleep. He claimed that when he awoke, Beckett was driving the car on the road between Bega and the beach. He said Beckett stopped the car and talked to 2 girls who got in the back seat after Beckett had taken out the television set and put it on the side of the road. He then claimed he passed out again, and when he came to, he saw Beckett covered in blood. However, the police just didn't believe it.
Dismissal. Really? That's all that happened? Oh, you out of here. What's his name? Man, shut the hell up with this cap, bro.
For context, Camilleri was very much the leader of the 2, to the point that when Beckett stayed over at his home, Camilleri would...
With Grammarly, every email you send can be polished and ready to go. Grammarly Pro has a lot of great features that you should try.
Would make him sleep outside like a dog. Beckett was a person who followed orders, capable outside like a dog. That when Beckett stayed over at his home, Camilleri would make him sleep outside like a dog. Beckett was a person who followed orders, capable of evil himself, but he would always follow instructions from his boss.
Yeah, this nigga a hoe. That nigga a hoe, bro. I don't give a damn what arsenal this nigga has. You're not telling me to do something like that I don't want to do that is morally bad or disrespectful, and I'm gonna comply. There's no way in hell I'm sleeping outside. What are you talking about, bro?
The police knew this, but they needed more proof, and they had it. As I mentioned earlier, a jacket was found which belonged to one of the girls, and the jacket had on it a semen stain. This jacket was tested for DNA, and
That's just that print.
DNA came back with a match to Camilleri. This was damning. He had completely lied about being asleep. Then a woman came forward. Weeks before the murders, the two men had picked up a woman in Canberra. They forced themselves upon this woman in the same manner that they had flicked upon Lauren and Nichole, taking her down similar dirt tracks. Thankfully, she was able to run away from the two men after they let her go to the toilet behind a tree. She was able to run to safety and get help as the men sped away. They picked her up off a road. They got her into the back seat. They forced themselves upon her, and they were going to kill her when they were done, just like what they had done to Lauren and Nichole. These two men clearly had a modus operandi, meaning that Camilleri wasn't as innocent as he had claimed. With the jacket with a stain on it, and this woman testifying, along with Beckett's confession, the prosecution had what they needed. The trial would soon begin. Family and friends had to sit and listen in heartbreaking two girls suffered that night. On the 26th of June 1998, Lindsay Beckett appeared in the Supreme Court of Victoria. Thankfully, he pleaded guilty to the murders of Lauren Barry and Nichole Collins. He was sentenced to life in prison with a non-parole period of 35 years. At the time, this was the longest non-parole period ever imposed in Victoria. Camilleri appeared in court in February of 1999, and he pleaded not guilty. The prosecution called 70 witnesses, presented DNA evidence, forensic findings, and Beckett's testimony, along with a woman from Canberra. The evidence was damning. The trial concluded on the 10th of April 1999. He was found guilty. Camilleri was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. A fair sentence, but one that is rare in Australia. But tragically, this isn't where the story ends. In 2012, Camilleri confessed to killing another woman. Prudence Bird was a 13-year-old girl who lived in Victoria. She was born on the 26th of March 1978. She was described as a typical teenager, and she was close with her family and enjoyed life. But on the 2nd of February 1992, she disappeared from her home under extremely strange circumstances. She was last seen in her home, where she had left behind an uneaten meal and the television still on. Her disappearance remained a mystery for 20 years. But then in 2012, Leslie Camilleri confessed to the murder.
How is this thing not dead yet? Look at this egghead ass dude. Yeah, look down at the ground, because you a piece of shit, dude. Like what the hell?
There are a number of inconsistencies with his story. This could be due to the amount of time that has passed, or perhaps other people were involved. Tragically, Prudence's body has never been found. For this murder, he was found guilty and was given an additional 28 years in prison added on to his life sentence. Camilleri will never be free, but Beckett will. He will be eligible for parole in 2033.
And so he's free right now. He shouldn't be free. He should not be free. They should have got the death sentence. Rest in peace to all three of them girls, bro. These are sick. I don't know what to say, man. It's just sad, bro. Rest in peace to them, man. I'll see y'all later.